All right, guys, welcome to Kitchen Daddy. This week we're making a sensational butternut squash and sage risotto. This is going to be perfect for a large dinner party, so we're going to focus on cooking techniques and making sure that every individual component of this risotto is going to absolutely burst with flavor. Guys, dead easy to do. Come on, let's get into it. Right, to kick things off, we're going to prep the butternut squash. So let's just chop the neck off there. And now using your sharp knife, let's just run that down the side. That's how we're going to peel it. And then we can chop it into 3 big chunks. Now, we just want to chop the bottom off there. That way we've got a nice flat surface to run our knife around it. We can chop that in half, grab a spoon and we can remove those seeds. And then we just want to chop this into a kind of medium large rough dice. Okay, let's get them into a roasting tray. Now I've got about 4 or 5 leaves of sage here. And sage and butternut squash is the most amazing food pairing, guys. Absolutely delicious. We want to finely chop that up. Now let's sprinkle that all over. And we want to add some salt, pepper, good splash of oil. Now let's get our hands in there. We want to mix that all together, make sure everything is perfectly coated. Let's get that in the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. We're going to cook that for probably about 45 minutes. Now guys, normally or previously I've always cooked my vegetables at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius. Now I've recently changed that, especially with sweet vegetables like squash. And what I've found is that when we cook them at 350 degrees for a lot longer, it really intensifies that sweetness in there and they become even more tastier. Now, the offset to that is that you lose texture, but because we're making this risotto, I don't really care about having texture in this. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for real concentrated flavor. So give it a go. You can either cook them at 200 degrees Celsius, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, or 350. I would recommend doing it 350 for a lot longer, so about 45 minutes, and they are going to be perfect. Now for the risotto, we are effectively making a sage and onion or sage and shallot risotto. And again, sage and onion, we all know that is a match made in heaven. So we've got this beautiful creamy risotto to have these wonderful flavor explosions from the sweet butternut squash. Absolutely amazing. So with the shallots, we're just going to finely chop them up. Now I've got a pan on a nice medium gentle heat. We're going to add a good splash of olive oil. Let's get the shallots in there. Good pinch of salt. And we're going to start moving that around. Now let's grab another 4 or 5 sage leaves. We're going to finely chop them up. Let's sprinkle them in. And we're going to cook this out for probably about 5-6 minutes until they become translucent. Okay, I've got a large pot of chicken stock on the go here. These are starting to look absolutely wonderful, so it's probably a good time to add our arborio rice. Okay, so let's pour that in. And I want to mix that around, and I want to make sure every grain of rice gets covered in oil. And we just want to give that a tiny little bit of toasting. So we're just going to keep this in the pan before we add any liquid for about 2 or 3 minutes. At this point, you can add some white wine if you want to. Most people would normally add some white wine. I'm making it for a family dinner, so let's not worry about that. We can just add in chicken stock. So let's pour that in. Right, okay. Let's just knock that temperature down. I want to get that down to a nice gentle heat. Now, there are 2 schools of thought on this. So one, you either have your risotto and you continually stir it, or 2, you just let it be. And for this today, guys, we're just going to let this be. So as you can see, we've got enough liquid in there to, cover the rice. We're going to leave that for probably 3 or 4 minutes. And there you go. Now you can see all that little bit of rice kind of sticking their heads through there, aren't they? Now we know that's not cooked through, so we're just going to pour over a little bit more chicken stock, and we're going to cook that for about another 5 minutes. Okay, this is starting to look really good. I can see that the rice isn't cooked through, but let's just have a little taste because we want to see how far it's come along. Okay, it's definitely not cooked through, but this is perfect because what I can tell now is that I've got too much liquid in the pan. So what I want to do is just crank up the temperature, and we're going to start moving this around and just keep moving that around, and that's going to help the liquid evaporate a bit quicker, so then the rice can take on the right amount of liquid. This is what we're looking for. I want to have every grain of rice. I want to be able to see every grain of rice. And there you go. I mean, that's looking absolutely beautiful there. We're going to have another little taste. Okay, this is absolutely where I want it to be. So it's not al dente, it's not finished, it's not perfect at the moment, but we're going to knock it off the heat because there's enough liquid and enough heat in that pan to basically finish cooking that through. So let's just knock that off to the side, and then we're going to reheat it when we're ready to serve. Now for our garnish, we're going to do some fried sage leaves. So I've got some oil in the pan here, and the best way for me to show you how to do this is just with one leaf. So let's get a leaf in there. And as you can see, we've got lots of bubbles coming off that, and that's basically water coming out of the sage leaf. So what we're looking for is when it's bubbling quite a lot, that's lots of water coming out. As that dies down and you don't have those bubbles coming off, you know it's been fried. So that is looking really good. So let's just fish that out. And then if you want to do a whole load of sage leaves, stand back because it will fizz up. Let's get them in. And then we can just drain them on some kitchen paper. And you look at those, they look beautiful, golden and green, and they're just going to work really beautifully, not only from a visual, but also just a little flavour pairing as well to go with this. Okay, we've got our beautiful butternut squash here, and if you look at that, and I mean, they've just got this wonderful concentrated sweetness on them. So really have a go at cooking them at that lower temperature. All we need to do now, guys, is just bring the risotto back up to temperature, and we need to finish it off. So first up, let's give that a good mix around. We're going to pour over a whole load of grated Parmesan. And we also need to add about 3 or 4 knobs of butter. Now let's give that a move around, and as you can see, because it's been cold, it's got a little bit sticky. So I always keep a little bit of extra stock to the side. Let's pour that in so we can loosen it all up. Okay, let's give that another mix around. We need to add a little bit more stock there. We want to have it nice and loose. Okay, that is looking great, so we just need to season that up. Okay, that is fantastic, so let's plate up. Right guys, check this out. Oh my word. Smells absolutely incredible and it looks unbelievable. So here we go. First of all, let's try the risotto. absolutely delicious. And now with the butternut squash, a little bit of deep fried sage. Oh. Oh man. Exquisite. Absolutely exquisite. And honestly guys, that's why I don't like to mix everything together, because you know, you get the lovely flavour of the risotto, then you get a little flavour explosion from the butternut squash. You know, you can mix it all together, but then you just get the same taste again and again and again and again and again. Whereas what we're looking to do is kind of excite the palate with, you know, kind of different flavours coming through. Anyway, I am thoroughly going to enjoy that. Make sure you go to kitchen-daddy.com, check out the hats, go and get yourself a hat and a t-shirt, or go and get somebody you really love one of these for Christmas. And of course, make sure that you sign up to the Gastro Club. Guys, are you not a member of the Gastro Club? Join the team, guys. Come and join the crew, and I will go and enjoy the rest of this. Guys, thanks a lot. Get in the comments. Take care. Bye-bye.